Hey everyone, I'm Marbozir and welcome to another Civilization 5 game poll. So this is going to be an April-May game poll. Today is exactly 21st April and I decided to do something a little bit different. I will be including 4 options in this poll and all 4 games will be drastically different, as you will see in just a moment. So the first game I decided to use is going to be a frontier map, but with Pangea in advanced setup. So this is similar to Pangea template, but it generally includes more mountains. So on the frontier template, it's easier to get choke points and things like that, and it generally has more mountains. So this game will be on epic pace. I will be including games on both standard and epic in this poll. As I said, the games that I will be using here will be drastically different. As for the leaders, I'm still going to use random leaders. I decided to use a set of 4 new maps or 4 new games instead of using that Napoleon game, because I'm sure we'll get equally interesting games in this set. So I will be using random leaders for all 4 games, and as a general rule, if I get a leader that I already played in Brave New World, I'll reroll a new one. If I get a leader that I played before, but not in Brave New World, so let's say in Vanilla or in Gods and Kings, then I will use him. Anyway, this game is Frontier, standard map size. I might include 1 game on launch in this set, but we'll see. Deity difficulty, epic game pace, and Pangea landmass type. So let's see what kind of leader we're going to get. Okay, so we got Pachacuti, which I already played before, but that was in Gods and Kings, and it was on Emperor difficulty, I believe. So that was a pretty long time ago, and not on DT. I'm going to keep him for this game. He's actually going to work quite nicely on this template, because the Frontier map gets more mountains in general, as I already said. And one of Pachacuti's unique abilities, or unique improvements in this case, is the Terrace Farm, which gets more food if it's adjacent to mountains. So that will actually work quite nicely on this map. And his unique unit is the Slinger, which replaces the Archer and has a chance to withdraw from melee attacks. I'm not sure if he keeps that promotion, I don't actually remember. And also Pachacuti's units ignore terrain costs when moving into any tile with hills, and no maintenance costs are required for improvements in hills. So he can actually get a pretty strong economy and half cost everywhere else. So let's have a look at the starting location. I'll move my warrior as usual, but I won't be settling the city. Let's see, I can move into the hill and see some more. I could also move into the forest. I'll move to the hill because then I'll see more terrain to the north, in case I'll decide to settle right here, for example, which would still be a location on a river. Okay, there's a tile with sheep to the north, so I could get that sheep if I moved over here. I have 1 copper in range, I don't see any other luxuries. There might be some luxuries inside Fog of War, but it's hard to tell. So this is the first game. I'm going to save it and roll a new one. See you then. Okay, so here's the second game. It's going to be a game on a Turkey map. This is a map from the Scrambled Nations map pack. So it's a land map with an inland sea. I don't think I played a map like this before, so it should be interesting. I'm going to use standard game pace for this game. Deity difficulty, standard map size, you can't actually change. Well, yeah, you can change the map size. Also, in case you don't know, the way Scrambled Continents and Scrambled Nations maps work is that you get the same exact landform, but the terrain is randomized. So you get the same landform, but completely different terrain every time you start this game. So this is not the same map every time, just the landform is the same. So anyway, standard game pace, deity difficulty, standard map size, Turkey map. All the advanced settings are on default, there aren't a lot of advanced settings for this map specifically. So let's see who we're going to get. Alright, so our leader for this game is Alexander. Quite a few people asked me to play Greece, so that actually works quite nicely. His special ability is that city-states influence degrades at half their normal rate and recovers at twice the normal rate. He has 2 unique units. The first one is Companion Cavalry, which replaces the Horseman, has higher combat strength, 14 in this case, and helps to produce great generals. His other unique unit is the Hoplite, which replaces the Spearman and has higher combat strength. So let's have a look at our starting location. We have incense and wine, and one tile with wheat. Now I could move into the forest, I could move here. Let's see, I think I'll move into the forest. In case I decide to settle on this tile, for example. But that won't show me a lot of new terrain, actually. Let's move here. Okay, there's wheat and wine to the west. Interesting. Alright, this is game number 2 then. Alexander on Turkey map, standard, game pace, DT difficulty, and standard map size and standard game pace. So I'll save this one and roll game number 3. See you then. Okay, so game number 3 is going to be a game on a map from Scrambled Continents map pack. This is going to be the Middle East. It's actually one of the more interesting maps in the Scrambled Continents map pack, in my opinion at least. And I will be playing this one on epic game pace. Advanced options are on default. So standard map size, epic game pace, DT difficulty, Middle East map. Let's see what leader we're going to get for this one. Okay, so this time we got Attilla. I actually played Attilla back in Gods and Kings. That was my first game in Gods and Kings, but that was a very long time ago and on very low difficulty level. I think it was on King. So I decided to keep him. So his special ability is raising cities at double speed. He also borrows city names from other in-game civilizations and starts with animal husbandry and +1 production per pasture. His unique unit is the Horse Archer, which is a ranged unit. Not much else to say about that, really. And his other unique unit is a Battering Ram, which is a very early game siege unit. I'm actually not a huge fan of this, because you have to go to war super early to take advantage of the Battering Ram. But there we go. That's Attilla. Let's have a look at the starting location. So we start on the river again, that's always good. Let's see, I could move here, which would reveal a lot of the terrain. Let's do that. There's some wine to the west. So in theory, I could move a little bit. I could move one tile here and have 2 luxuries in range. I could also have wheat. That would delay the capital by 1 turn. So anyway, this is game number 3. So Attilla on Middle East map, standard, game size, DT difficulty, and epic game pace. I'm going to save this one and roll my last game, which is going to be quite different, by the way. Okay, so game number 4 will be using a mod that I'm not using in any of the other 3 games. It's also a mod that I never used before. This is Smart AI. This is a fairly new mod. You'll find a link in the description below. And this mod upgrades AI behavior and fixes some of the stupid things AI does. I won't be reading all of these changes, I'll just show you on screen. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read all of this. So these are version 1 changes. And these are version 2 changes. It fixes quite a lot of stupid AI behavior. It also makes the game harder, because the reason AI needs all these crazy bonuses on DT in the first place is because the AI is stupid. Let's be real here. If you gave all these bonuses to an actual human player, then that player would pretty much never lose. So, I will be using this mod for game number 4. As for the map, in game number 4, I'm going to use Earth map. So, since Smart AI mod makes the game harder by the virtue of fixing some of the stupid AI behavior, I decided to drop the difficulty to Immortal and play on large map. I get people asking me to play on large map fairly regularly, so since one of the problems that I always see with large and huge maps is because you can easily end up with runaway AIs, or at least runaway AIs tend to be a bigger problem on larger maps because it's harder to stop them if you're on the other side of the world. It makes sense to drop difficulty to Immortal, and combined with the fact Smart AI makes the game harder, this seemed like the best option to drop difficulty to Immortal. So I will also be using Earth map. This is, again, one of the things that people keep asking about. Large Earth map. So this is going to be a game on large Earth map, Immortal difficulty, smart AI mod, and standard game pace. As for advanced setup, I'm not really going to change anything in here. So let's get started and see what leader we're going to get. Okay, seriously, I randomly rolled Napoleon third time in a row. I couldn't make this up, honestly. I have no idea how this guy keeps making an appearance. I guess he really wants to be in a game. So I'm going to keep him. I won't really be going in depth into his abilities, I already did it twice. But the Musketeer is a replacement for a Musketman with higher combat strength. Chateau is a unique tile improvement for extra culture and gold. And his unique ability is that his theming bonuses in the capital are doubled. So extra culture and tourism basically, or extra tourism in this case. So let's have a look at the starting location. I'm not playing with true starting locations or anything like that. These are randomized starting locations. True starting locations sound good on paper, but the problem is that it leads to a huge mess in Europe, and other civilizations outside of Europe tend to snowball out of control. Anyway, let's move the warrior, so I could move right here, just to see the area. This is actually a pretty good start. I mean, wow, I have 3 copies of spices, I have marble, which helps with early wonders, and I also have a river and a mountain. This is a pretty good starting location. And I have fresh water. Well, I have both river and lake. Alright, so this is a game with smart AI mod on large earth map, immortal difficulty and standard game pace. And Napoleon, again, third time. Here's your chance, Napoleon. So, you can find links to all 4 options in the description below, to the poll with all 4 options that is. I will play whichever one wins. I'll give the poll a few days, so that everyone gets a chance to vote. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.